Welcome back to KC Cares, Kansas City's nonprofit voice. I am Bobby Keys.
And I'm Ruth Bonbiggis.
And we are back here again at the Kansas City Public Library with our
Plaza location.
Yeah, the Plaza location with our monthly segment in this beautiful, beautiful place. They got so many things going on.
It's like a party.
It's actually like a party. It's like a cross between art and a party.
And that's exactly what we're going to talk about, because we have with us from the Nelson-Atkins Museum of Art, young friends of art. We've got Weston Owen, who's Arty co-chair, along with his teammate, Morgan Stockton, who's part of the committee planning this great event for the museum.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us today.
Yeah, thank you. We're glad to be here.
Yeah, so tell us about what's going on with the Party Arty theme and what's going on with the Nelson.
Well, it's going to be a great night. We're really excited about it. The Party Arty theme, and we have really put together quite a squad of people to go through and make this one of the best parties yet. The Nelson-Atkins has a tenured history of, making sure that this is an insightful and a very thoughtful event for not only the young friends of art, because that's who it's put on by, but also for anyone from 21 to 81. It doesn't matter. We want you to come, have fun, experience the Nelson-Atkins, and just have a blast for a night. So that's kind of what we're doing with Party Arty. This year, it's actually themed around our newest exhibit around Nefertari. So it's going to be Egyptian themed.
Cool.
Ooh,
yes.
Walk like an Egyptian.
Yes.
I hear that song.
A lot of Bangles going to be played.
And I am going to be out walking like an Egyptian. People are going to say, Weston, please don't do that anymore. I'm still going to do it, though. It's going to be such a magical night. We've got such an incredible group of people from the committee that are working their tails off to make this a special experience for everyone involved. So it's going to be a great time. Beautiful colors, very decadent. You can buy your tickets, and you're just going to have one of the best experiences that you're going to have. So.
And this raises money for the museum?
That's correct. So really, it's a fundraiser for the Nelson-Atkins. The Nelson-Atkins is kind of one of the postcard images. The shuttlecocks and the lawn and really everything about the Nelson-Atkins, we really gravitate towards when it comes to Kansas City. So, we are very proud to be a part of that, but we also have to be proud of supporting the Nelson as well. So all of the tickets raised, and that all goes back to the Nelson-Atkins to help keep the lights on, to help keep the over 70,000 children that come in and benefit from the educational programs, the 500,000 people that come in on a yearly basis that don't have to pay a dime to walk in the door. That's what we're doing. We're supporting not only our community, but an anchor for our community, and making sure that they can keep the lights on, and we can keep a world-class establishment in Kansas City.
Morgan, what are you doing with Party Arty? What is your charge?
Chief Partier.
Oh, yeah. So Weston's obviously leading our charge with being co-chair of our Party Arty Planning Committee, but I am specifically helping the volunteer committee. We have a really great mix of people who have volunteered their time to help make this party happen, and a mix of people at the Nelson-Atkins who are kind of leading the charge. But I'm on the marketing and communications committee, so a lot of what you've read on the website, if you've visited partyarty.org.
It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it looks rad, and we've had a really great partnership with Reactor, who did a lot of our design stuff, but any of the language and social media posts, that's coming from my team on the Party Arty Planning Committee.
What year is this for the event? Do you know?
I believe it's 25. Yeah, it's the 25th year for Party Arty. So it's a long tenured event, and every single year we aspire to make it bigger and better, and it's going to be an incredible event this year. I mean, can
you drop any secrets, or do we just have to rely on the theme and just have to show up?
Well, I mean, I can give you a few little things. So
good.
We've got sponsors. We've got some incredible sponsors that are going to go through and provide fantastic food and drink for the evening. We've got Tomstown is on board for the official liquor sponsor. We've got Boulevard on board. So two very
Can't
big.
go wrong with that.
You absolutely cannot go wrong with either of those folks. So. We've got 3 special themed drinks that evening, and I'm going to pull them up just so I remember them really quickly. Desert Heat Whiskey, the Golden Vodka Oasis, and Pleasure Garden Gin. So,
I would want it to be on that committee to
the taste
make
test.
sure they
taste test, yeah.
taste,
Oh, it was
taste
fun.
okay,
Yeah.
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 And the whole idea is to come embrace in that evening, will there be any kind of like show and tell about the museum?
So yeah, that's a great question. So you can go through and even in the times leading up to it, or even that evening, we are still advocates and we're still spokespeople for the Nelson. So we're going to have people walking around that can go through and ask questions and learn more about the museum and how they can play a part in its success every year. Again, thinking about this from a membership standpoint, that is what keeps the lights on. So when you go through and purchase your ticket, we actually have them a little bit incentivized for members. So the tickets, if you want to buy them, and I'll give you the website here momentarily, but for members, it's $125 per ticket. For non-members, it's $155. So what we actually, really kind of want to go through and promote is the fact that if you go through and you buy a yearly membership, you can not only save money there, but you're also donating back to the Nelson and making sure that, again, keeping a world-class institution open and running and thriving within Kansas City.
You're both members of the Young Friends of Art.
Correct, yes.
Why did each of you join? There's lots of things out there to become a part of. So why was it this organization?
Well, I guess I'll start. So I am a graduate of the Kansas City Art Institute.
One of our favorite organizations. The last time we were at the library, we were having Tony Jones on.
Yes.
I did. It was one of the few that I clicked on when I was like, doing my research. And as soon as I saw KCA, I was like, okay, have to watch that one.
There you go.
But as you are, I'm sure, familiar, it's right across the street from the Nelson. So I had the benefit of a really incredible education from KCAI that also included many art history trips to the Nelson to experience the incredible artwork in person versus just on a slideshow. So it just really developed a incredibly positive relationship with an interest that I already had, which was art history. So after graduating KCAI, stayed local, and I live a couple blocks away from the Nelson, and it just made sense to start parking for free.
There you go.
Yes, the free parking is huge. I mean, that's the best part. One of the main reasons, and I've held many hats with the Nelson-Atkins over the last few years, and it was probably about 5 years ago, and I really wanted to go through and find a niche to go through and get involved within Kansas City. And so I looked at the different institutions, the different establishments that would I could go through and use a lot of my own personal treasures to help give back with. So I've sat on quite a few different committees for various parties with the Nelson. I've gone through and obviously kind of worked my way up to co-chair with Party Arty. I sit on the YFA board and have an active role in that as well. So it's just very important to me because the Nelson-Atkins is really an anchor for this community. It is welcoming of all people, and again, I love art, and I think probably my favorite part is what it stands for within Kansas City and how much of a gem it is. Like, people don't realize how amazing this establishment is that we have in our very own backyard.
What's your favorite thing at the museum? I don't know. Is that a fair question? That's hard.
That's a fair question, and I am. I'm gonna defer to Morgan first, so I can have a little bit of time to think about it.
Nothing like putting you on the spot.
Yeah, no kidding. I did move away for a little bit and then came back to the opening of the new Impressionist exhibit that the Nelson recently opened, which has an incredible donation from the
Block family, I believe.
Family, yes. And I think that alone is such an expansive exhibit that really truly shows the work that was done at that time, and I'd say that's probably my favorite, along with maybe Thou Mayest Coffee now being served in the Nelson.
Oh, yes. Well, I think we got to go to the Nelson and have a show there.
Absolutely. My favorite is I do love the addition of water lilies. I think water lilies is, you can just sit there and stare at that for hours, but I would probably say probably Sans Ends, the Great Peak. It is just, I love the strokes and the texture that you can see and just the vibrant colors that really come out in that. So it's probably one of my favorite pieces, but I also like the coffee as well. So I'll just kind of piggyback on that a little bit.
Being a lifelong resident here and being slightly older than you, I remember when the shuttlecocks came up and that was so controversial. Now people can't even imagine, saying anything opposite to the, or detrimental about the shuttlecocks. Yeah. How do you, as you're young people engaged, how do you get your peers engaged? Do you find it challenging, or are there a lot of young people who say, yeah, this is important?
In my opinion, and I'll let Morgan speak for herself too, but I think that people want to be engaged with Kansas City as a community. We are a very proud people of where we come from. And the fact of the matter is that the Nelson is one of those postcard images for Kansas City, for the Midwest, the area that we live in. So, I don't think it's hard to connect those dots and say, come, if you check out the museum, it's free to come in. It's free to check out these beautiful, exhibits. We've got these traveling exhibits that are nominal cost, like very, very, easy to pay for, and you see some incredible work that comes through our doors. So I think it's very easy to go through and get others engaged. And plus, I think, we all want to be a part of something that's bigger than ourselves and something that's, very impactful to the community. So, the Nelson for me is just one of those places that I'm very proud to be a part of. So.
Yeah, and I'd agree with that, and definitely piggybacking on the same idea of community. I think that throughout my experience with Kansas City, their support of the arts community is phenomenal, and it is something that you are not finding in other cities. Like, having been to other cities or moved away and come back, like, Kansas City loves the arts, and through a variety of arts communities, organizations. So that alone, like, we've already got this strong ingrained sense of love of the arts in KC, and the Nelson-Atkins is the pinnacle of that showcase. And so it's so easy to sell that idea to out-of-towners, to locals, to natives, just because it is free and it's expansive, and it is unbelievable, some of the works that the Nelson owns, and just to have that resource for free available to people to come to, I feel like it's pretty easy to support that. And
even to piggyback a little, to give you a stat there, we've got over 41,000 pieces in our art collection.
And that's only what's hanging on the walls, or is that all the stuff in boxes and things?
Well, that's a great question. On the wall, yes.
6%.
6%.
So you only have 6% of that
of your holdings are on the wall. So
how does that? Yeah, how does that work? Do you have to sit there and go through it? Like you have a
do things get rotated in and out? Do we get to see stuff?
Yeah. So we, I know there are some permanent fixtures, but we go through and we try to keep it very fresh. We try to go through and make sure that we've got something new on the wall and something that's intriguing and engaging to all of the people that are walking through the door. So people don't. I don't think a lot of folks realize that 41,000 is an incredible number.
And what about you had mentioned the children's programs and what is that? I guess what do those consist of? Are those free? Did you say those are free?
Yes, they are. And so that really is the best part about the Nelson. To walk through the doors for anyone, for any families. If you go into the Nelson on a regular weekday afternoon, it's incredible to watch the school buses roll in, and you have it's amazing. You'll see all of these kids that line up with their teachers and their classes, and they're just so excited to be there. And the teachers are keeping them all kind of in order. But it's free to go through and come in and explore the entire museum. It allows those children to go through and get a vested interest in the arts and whatnot. And then you obviously during the summertime when they have time off, there are art programs and painting programs and things that allow them to go through and get their I guess their hands a little bit dirty when it comes to art, and really having it grow an appreciation for what the Nelson does and for what art can do for them in their lives.
What if you don't have little kids? Can you come down and take class?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I was an adult playing in the crafts last weekend, so I was,
Well, so you've been there. What's your experience been like with the girls when you go down?
Yeah, I took the whole family down, so they loved it. I think it's engaging. There's plenty of stuff for the kids to do. There's food that they all eat, so that's the lovely thing. And I'm always big about exposing my kids to art and having them talk about it and see what feelings, kind of extracts. They just get their mind thinking, So I love going there. They're always excited. They always like it. So I think it's a great. They've done a wonderful job of making it family oriented.
And in this crazy world, I would think a stroll through an art museum on a regular basis might be a great panacea for the stressful, tension, hate-filled world that we seem to be living in at the moment.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you can just walk through, and there's something so soothing and so settling about, about walking through and discovering new pieces that you've never seen before, or, even the placards go through and tell all about the artist, and it's fascinating to even learn their history.
Yeah,
it's cool to see the what's hanging on the wall, but to really gain a better and a deeper insight to the artist, his or herself, is fascinating.
Yeah, you could probably you go and visit the same piece 10 times and stand like a foot away each time and notice something different. At every distance. It's like if you just go and study it, you'll see some nuance or something. Like, I didn't notice that before.
Absolutely.
And that's with the skull, everything. Yeah. So it's
correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought that the museum also was very well known for its Chinese holdings for many times. I remember, is that still the case?
Yes, absolutely. So we've got, a myriad of different cultures and cultural representations and just beautiful exhibits. The Chinese wing is probably one of my favorites. It's just fascinating to see the different jade, pieces that we have, and it's fascinating. I really am just a huge advocate for the Nelson. See, I can't say anything bad about it. And plus, they have coffees. That's the best part.
They have coffee. Well, they have Roselle Courtyard.
They have Roselle, yeah.
And a free family festival.
Yep.
See, there we go.
6 a year.
We've got seafood, 6,
including Chinese New Year, I understand.
We
and
have
so
all of the things.
Where do people find out about all this stuff?
Yeah, it's very easy. You can go to Nelson-Atkins.org, and we keep our website very up to date, and it's got all of the latest information. There's always a calendar that shows all the different events that you can go through and attend. You can obviously follow the social media channels for the Nelson. They're on Facebook, on Instagram as well. Very easy finds. But same with Party Arty. If you want to go through and learn more about Party Arty, you can go to partyarty.org, and you can go through and you can learn about memberships there. You can learn more about the night, some details. We give you a little bit of a teaser. We don't want to give away the whole bit, but we can go through and you can certainly learn more there and buy your tickets, and we're eager to see you all there.
Well, the Nelson-Atkins is in great hands with
there.
the two of you. Oh my gosh, their energy and creativity. Kudos, whoever recruited you guys.
It's all the coffee from the Nelson.
There you go.
I brought it full circle.
Well, thank you guys for being here, and thank you for listening to Casey Cares, Kansas City's nonprofit digital resource. We're produced by Charitable Communications, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And if you like what you hear on our show, feel free to click on donate or underwrite now on our website, kccaresonline.org.
Oh, to all the podcasts and everything, they're up on kccaresonline.org to be a guest or underwriting opportunities. Spread the love. Find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Casey Cares Online. And thank you for listening to Casey Cares on ESPN Kansas City, 1510 a.m. and 94.5 FM.